Alright, so here's what we have so far. And it's looking pretty good. More or less a larger version of what we've been doing. But I can see two last small things to fix, and they're both motion blur related. One is here, where we can see the velocity vectors are kind of just shooting out forward. And that's because by default, our miniature renderer node here, we have the shutter offset set to 1. That basically means the motion blur should be from this frame to the next frame. So you can imagine if the liquid is moving forward like this, the motion blur is kind of leading it a little bit. You can't really tell for the most part on most frames and in most areas, but especially here where it's going forward and then suddenly changes direction, this looks a little weird. I think it makes more sense intuitively anyway to have it blend from the previous frame to this frame anyway. Maybe it's just a personal thing, but either way, that's how we'll fix that. The other issue is we see these little flecks on him here, all these little turquoise flecks. That turquoise is, of course, the turquoise of our uniform volume shader. What we're seeing is motion blur of the interior volume kind of sticking out in different places. I don't really know why that's happening, but honestly, instead of tracking that down, it'll be just as easy to just turn it off. So go to the render liquid interior, geometry velocity blur, just say no velocity blur. I mean, it's fine. Most of the velocity blur we're going to see anyway is at the edges, and that's defined really by the liquid shader itself. The shading of the blue on the inside is subtle at best and only really accumulates in big areas. We're not going to be able to tell one way or another if it's 100% accurate. So 2 easy fixes, and I think for the last time we could send this back to the farm, or either to farm on the internet or on your own computer. Here we go.